What are his views on things? Because he's called himself the king of toxic masculinity. I mean, is that something you really want to be the king of?
Well, this is the thing. I think it's a sort of an exaggeration. He's saying all the things that you're not allowed to say. He's the bad boy. He's saying the things that, you know, you get cancelled for. And it's almost like he doesn't necessarily think these things. Well, maybe he does, but he'll say anything that he's not allowed to say.
Do you think he's just a professional controversialist?
I think he is. I think he's a provocateur. He understands the way that the algorithms work. You know, firstly, if you say things that are controversial, it generates a buzz, and you don't just have people watching it who enjoy what you're saying or agree with what you're saying. You get people hate watching and hate clicking and you know, tweeting about it and always mentioning his name. His videos have got 13 billion views on TikTok alone. I mean, that's huge. This guy really understands what he's doing in terms of provoking the algorithms. But
and he was banned from Facebook and Instagram in August for violating Meta's policies. That's the company that owns those two of those. He violated their policies on dangerous individuals. He had 4.7 million Instagram followers before his official account was deleted. Whether we love him or hate him, and a lot of people hate him, he is a very influential person.
Yeah, but he's a provocateur in a sense that I don't think it's good faith debate. I don't think he's coming to this saying what he really thinks. I think he knows exactly what's going to stir people up. He likes to kick the hornet's nest a little bit, and that gets him into some hot water from time to time, because, you know, if you step over the line a little bit and say things which are just, you know, abhorrent and beyond reproach, you know, it's going to backfire.
Tell us what happened in the last few days.
Well, you know, there was, of course, the arrest. People put it down to the pizza box, which apparently isn't true. That was a made-up thing. He had
so this was the allegation that he'd had a pizza and people thought, and the Romanian police kind of spotted that. But actually, the truth of that, as far as I can establish, is they just knew he was in Romania because they knew this was the background was his house that he'd done a feature or whatever in Romania on. Or
well, I mean, he would have flown in, and you know they would have had his records of his passport and all the rest.
There's an investigation took about a year or something into what he'd been up to.
I think that tends to be the case. You know, they build up the evidence. They wouldn't. I don't think they'd have arrested him unless they had a pretty solid case.
Although, of course, he denies those charges. But the charges are pretty serious, are they not?
They are, and, you know, some people, you know, obviously about sort of 6 months ago, he was saying they're going to arrest me, they're coming after me, you know, and those people are now saying, wow, it's amazing that he predicted this. It's like, well, it's possible that, you know, the reason he was able to predict that is because he, you know, knew what was going on, effectively.
Yes, indeed. And what is he actually being accused of?
Well, it's multiple things. One of the main charges, I think, is actually money laundering, rather than, you know, so the thing that people are focusing on is the trafficking and the sort of webcam.
So these are women who allegedly were kind of kept almost as slaves by him, were working for online pornography sites and so on, and he was taking the money, allegedly.
Which, by the way, isn't a very conservative thing to be running. You know, he stars himself as this conservative figure, and, you know, but he's running this weird sex cam farm. It's, you know, there seems
allegedly,
to be a bit
which he denies. Well, got to be really careful.
Sorry. He's you know, that's the charge that's being levelled against him. But I think the main one is actually the money laundering. I think that's where they've built the case around it. That's what they're going after him for, is the, you know, a lot of dodgy financial dealings is the main sort of thrust of the case.
What do you think this says? Because we have lots of people who are really worried about this person who is, this may be his downfall, this may be the end of Andrew Tate. I don't think it will necessarily, but I mean, he's facing a lot of time in prison, as is his brother Tristan and other people who are allegedly involved in this. But in terms of the kind of person he is, in terms of the kind of influencer and a person who's talking to young men, talking about views of women, saying horrific things about rape, that in some cases he says that women deserve it, which is obviously absolutely untrue and a horrendous thing to say. I mean, there is an audience for this. There's absolutely an audience, as you've said. There are people who want to hear this.
And there's people who want to hate to hear it as well. So it's the twofold thing. He knows how to generate controversy. And the thing is, even being arrested, you say it's his downfall. If anything, that will help him. It will make him a martyr to certain people, and other people that, you know, it just generates more buzz around his name. He's probably been more spoken about in the past few days since he's been arrested than he was before, and he was being pretty, you know, spoken about pretty much every day anyway before then. So, you know, it's all power to him, the fact that he's, you know, got this controversy around him. He thrives on the controversy, so I don't think he'll be too upset about being arrested. But
he won't be tweeting or making any videos for some time, because he's now remanded in custody for 30 days.
He has been tweeting the past few days.
Has he really?
Yeah, he came out and he said the Matrix sent their agents and all this sort of stuff. So somehow he's still tweeting. But yeah, they've got him for 30 days, maybe no videos because, you know, he's probably in a cell somewhere, but he seems to be able to get the tweets out.
Good.